American researchers have found a possible link between a pregnant woman's exposure to electromagnetic radiation and the chance of asthma in her unborn child. A team from a Californian research institute monitored hundreds of pregnant women, recording their level of exposure to electromagnetic fields. They found children whose mothers had the highest exposure were 3 times more likely to develop asthma. Professor Rodney Croft from the University of Wollongong is a radiation expert. He says the results are no reason to panic.
It's really the first study addressing this, and although it has reported a link, there are a lot of limitations with this kind of research. And we must remember, even if it was shown that there was a conclusive link, we've then got the issue of, was it actually due to the magnetic fields, or was it more likely due to some other confound? So we really are a long way from saying this is a problem.
Well, the electromagnetic fields in this study, they looked at power lines and everyday household appliances, things like hairdryers and microwave ovens. How worried should people be?
Look, I really don't think people should be worried at the moment. What they looked at was a couple of measurements, 2 days of measurements over a 9-month period, and that's really not enough to get a good indication of what the exposure actually is. So although it's an important indication that we need to research and take seriously, I really wouldn't say it's worth worrying about at present.
But is there enough evidence there to warrant further research?
Look, I'd say there is, remembering that we do a lot of research for things that may not turn out to be a problem. We don't have the same level of certainty required for us to go back and try to research this and find out for sure what's going on, as people might have to, for instance, want to avoid electromagnetic radiation. So in terms of research, it's absolutely appropriate to go back and do some more research, really try to understand this properly. But in terms of actually trying to avoid things, I think it's far too early for that.
It does seem to add to the weight of research, which shows our addiction to these electronic gadgets could actually be bad for our health.
Well, I think it's important to point out that we are talking about a very different type of radiation. We're talking about a very low frequency radiation, which is very different and has very different mechanisms of interaction with the body as things like mobile phones and Wi-Fi, wireless LAN and so forth. So we really can't group these with the other technologies, and so we'd have to say that the only evidence that's been put forward that has any chance of being real is the childhood leukemia research, which has suggested that there may be associations with power lines there. But even that, I must say, is very inconclusive. There are associations that have been reported, but in terms of whether this has any relationship with the magnetic fields of power lines, for instance, we really don't know that. We've got no evidence at all of that.
Professor Rodney Croft, thank you.
Thank you.